when disabled people were involved in like urban planning, if they were on these committees, like we would have better designs and better systems for our society.
So that was recorded a couple weeks ago, and there were some things that got left out, no shade, that I wanted to include in this subway outtakes. What I said was that if I was in charge, I would want to have community gardens on every block. Our like septic system from the houses, from the apartment buildings on those blocks to irrigate the community gardens. My solution basically was based on my own experiment that I did 20 years ago when I was a sophomore in high school. I got to enter into the New York State Science and Engineering Fair. I won second place, and I also won the Environmental Protection Award or something like that. I did an experiment where I collected raw sewage from my own home because it was under construction and I had access to the pipes. And I diluted it. I had a 100% concentration, I had a 50%, a 25%, and then a control group, which was just water. And so I would test to see like which plant would grow the tallest and the fastest, basically. And I got this idea because when I was 14, I went to Pakistan. I was like conscious politically, started coming up with solutions to problems everywhere in Pakistan. One of the things I thought of was using the raw sewage that was like, it was all over the street. If we used raw sewage to grow things, right, to help like the poor people in Pakistan, like that was the why for this experiment. My sophomore year science teacher at the time, Mr. Deutsch, was completely grossed out because I brought in those plants, and when he found out what I used to water them, he took a couple steps back. I just figured, this would be a great solution to so many environmental problems and class problems, right? Not only would we have better access to food, we wouldn't live in food deserts, right? Because we would have access to our own food, but then also we would reduce the amount of runoff that's produced from large scale agribusiness, right? We have giant swaths of land that we've completely razed those environments, destroyed the ecosystem, biodiversity in those ecosystems. Monarch butterflies are in danger because we're killing the milkweed, which is the only plant that their caterpillars can eat when they hatch from their egg. Hungry Little Caterpillar was based on a true story. And we also create a lot of runoff that comes off from the chemicals, the fertilizer and all of that comes off of that land and drains into the watershed, which ends up getting dumped into places like the Chesapeake Bay, the Gulf of Mexico. It's Mexico. What ends up happening is that we get giant algae blooms in those waters, and then it creates a dead zone because they suck the oxygen out of everything. Anyways, well, the bacteria do that, eat the dead algae, but there's so much algae that it creates a lot of bacteria. Anyways, point being, we're destroying environments from this large scale agribusiness when we could just have little farms on our blocks. And that's my take.